Hello, welcome to my channel. It's getting harder and harder to record this because every time I do, it's quite hard to get into it and then get right. Okay, this is the one that I want to publish. But today I want to talk about how do you know when you are ready for your manifestation. I can talk to you about that because even though I am not all over there yet, I can say the best way to know is when you think it's a given, like it's before it was so hard for you to accept that it could be yours, whatever it is that you want to manifest. And then one day you just think, yeah, of course, it's a given, it's gonna be mine. And I think that's a good sign that is, going, it's not even going to manifest, that it is definitely manifesting for you. I think like one of the examples that I had was when I was back in 20 when I was 20 years old, and it was the first time I was trying to do my permanent residency in Australia. And back then it was just so chaotic and everything wasn't lining up and everything. So I just decided, oh, stuff this. I'm just gonna bail and go home. But as soon as I got home, I didn't really settle in, and I felt like I was not accepted back then. So I got shipped back out here again. And after that, it took me about 4 more years to be able to apply for the residency. The first one was so chaotic, but the second one was different. Like the second application that I had to go through was different. There was no question that I was going to get it, even though the first one had like a lot of people involved in it. I had a lot of help. I had like there was just so many people's hands in it, like trying to get me across. And so by statistic wise, I should have gotten across. I should have succeeded. But I even like hired a lawyer, immigration lawyer. Like, no, it was my bad probably. She was like so out of it, and I had to pay her money, and then and then she didn't do her job, and then I had to ask for a refund, but she retained like $800 of my money, so she didn't give like a full refund. I mean, like I just felt like I wasn't taken care of. I felt like everyone was just ignoring me and just didn't take care of me. And I guess like if you don't have any status in the world, if you're not important according to society, you can get overlooked and taken advantage of because you're not important and you can't damage the other person. So that's one of the consequences of being weak, I guess. And yeah, so by the second time, I just applied by myself. I just basically compiled. If you ask me to do that now, I would break down and I would cry because I would probably don't have the capacity to do that now because I'm so regressed skill wise and burnt out. My nervous system probably couldn't handle the stress anymore of doing those kind of documentations, piling and signing up and assessing yourself. But back then it was, I think, like it was just a very different mindset the second time around. I just lined up everything. I copied everything. I submit everything online back in 2008 to become a permanent residency here after living in Australia for 10 years. I'm a citizen now because as soon as I got my permanent residency after 10 years living in Australia, because I've been here since I was 14, and I just applied for citizenship straight away the next year. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go through this kind of mess again, right? Like that's my brain like saying thinking, because once you get your citizenship, you just have to get your passport. But if you only have your permanent residency, you have to keep applying for exit and entry visa every 5 years. And to me, that's just so annoying. I just don't want to do that. And I don't know. There's always like this ambivalence of, oh, like you're not a citizen. I don't know. I feel like citizen, even though you're not necessary to have citizenship, if you are permanent residency, you can live here, basically have the same right as a citizen, except when it comes to voting. Voting is only reserved to citizens, but I don't know. I just felt like I didn't want to. I didn't feel like I belonged to a different country, and I've lived in Australia for like most like all my adult years and most of my teenage years. So even though I was living in other country for 14 years, but it was including, being a child and being born and growing up. So there was no awareness of it, right? There was no awareness of how the country works and the system and everything. So I was felt like even though this is still a foreign country, it feels less foreign than the one that I was born into. So by the second time, even though I was doing everything myself, I didn't have that feeling of doubt. I didn't have any uh, f- feelings that it's going to fail at all. It was just, yeah, of course it's gonna happen. Like, of course I'm going to get it. And I think that's the difference between like the first time around, the second time around. And I just want to use this particular example as a course for manifestation. Like the goal is to get a permanent residency, and the challenge is it sounds really hard and complicated. And the first time around I approached it that way because it was like, oh, other people might know better than me, so I might need to get other people to help me. But it ended up in disaster. The second time around, I basically have to kind of like own the process and did everything myself. Like as I said, if I have to do it now, probably will not be able to do it. But I think like my 20 up until I was 28 years old, I was a different person. That person is a lot more capable than this person at a 40-year old. Uh, and everything is, I just treated it like, a uni assignment, because you just have to submit everything online. You just have to submit all the document online. You just have to, scan everything, submit everything, and apply. And after about maybe 8 months, and like I haven't heard anything from them, I just called them up, like the immigration office, and asked for a follow up. And it just took one call, and then I think a week or 2 weeks after that, my permanent residency was granted. So, and I think I knew the reason why I wanted to get like my citizenship all sorted and all the other things sorted is because from the pattern recognition that I had, I knew like the trend was gonna be, it was getting going to be more and more difficult as the years pass. It was just going to be a lot more expensive. Even like with a passport, Australia passport, in 2025, it's like almost half $1,000. It's almost like $500, just, but that's a lot of money. I mean, like, what did they say? German's passport only costs $170. I mean, like, that's an appropriate amount of money for passport. But anyway, so back to manifestation topic. I feel like that's like the second time around, it just felt natural for me. Like I would get it. There was no question. There was a lot less noise. It was more straightforward. There, I didn't communicate with anybody at all. I didn't get a lawyer. I didn't get an opinion from any friends. I just did what the website told me verbatim and just followed the bullet points, and I got there. And I think that's also a good sign when you're trying to manifest, is that don't tell anybody, because everyone's idea of your goal is very different than your actual goal. So I think it's best kept secret until you actually attain it and achieve it. Because once I got it, it didn't feel like it was a big deal, and it never felt like a big deal. And I think that's how you know you are manifesting it and it's yours. And I think that's the second thing, right? Ownership. You feel like it's yours. It doesn't feel like you're obtaining something. It just feels like you are just acknowledging what's already yours. And I think that's a sign that manifestation is yours. It's like there is no question. It's not even a doubt in your mind, and it just becomes a non-issue. And it's very different when you're trying to manifest something. Like I know now, like I every time I try to manifest like money, it just feels like, oh, when is it going to come? Why is it not here yet? Why do I have to work so hard? Like why is my manifestation not here and stuff? But when it's something that I know is going to come around, I just don't talk about it, because not because I don't want to talk about it, but because why do I want to talk about something that is already there? It's like this bottle is here. Okay. It's already exists. But maybe if it's not there, I would have talked about it. Like, oh, I might need to have a spray bottle so I can spray my plants, it's summer and it needs to cool down and all the things. But once it's here, there is no talk about it. All I have to do is just use it as I need to. And that's that. And I think it's the same with manifestation. It's like if it's yours, there is that feeling of security, of knowingness that it's not going anywhere. There is a lot of ease attached to it. There is a lot of assurance from within that it's going to be yours, and there is a lot less friction with the world, with yourself. There's a lot less noise, and manifesting something is tricky because I'm fully aware of this, but at the same time, because I am also a human being, even though I know this theory is true, and even though I have experienced it so many times in the past, I still am trapped in the process before the manifestation kind of becomes mine. When I'm still in the manifesting process, it still feel like a struggle. But so I guess I'm trying to shift it from the manifesting period to the manifested feeling, and for it to come that way. In a lot of ways, I think that's what I was trying to do last year in December. I felt like, oh, especially, I don't know if anyone remembers now, but like back then we had like this Louis Mangione guy that basically the health CEO guy, and there was a lot of talk about class consciousness and about all these things. And back then in December, suddenly I just felt like, wow, money is not real. For some reason I had that concept in my brain. Like for that 1 month period, I basically just stopped thinking or trying to make money, because in that month I felt like money is not real. Like, why am I pursuing money? It feels like I'm pursuing like a dream, like I'm pursuing a ghost, like something that is not tangible, something I cannot touch, something I cannot feel, something like it's just not there. It's an imagination that's being made up by this whole population that I have to adhere to, because apparently from the outside I still look human and therefore I still have to follow the human's race delusion to it. Did I just talk like out of my bum? So yeah, definitely. But it's definitely like manifestation feels like, you order something and then you pay for it and then you're just going to receive it. It's like that. It's like, of course it's gonna come. I already paid for it. Why wouldn't I just heard something? My electricity lately, this is out of context. My electricity lately has been going weird. Maybe because it's the lightning storms that we've been getting lately, but even with the lights that I use without connected to power, because I use batteries for LED lights to light up like my bathroom, and it uses frequency to tandem with another LED light, so it's a sensor thing. So if you recognize the motion, like one, they have the main master sensor, and then it will order the other LED light to lights up too. Even with those particular lights, like they are like going off and on, and I know it's not the battery because I replace the batteries quite often. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I am haunted. I'm scared. But back to manifestation. So that's the feeling that you felt like it's just like you're ordering something. Like, if you go to McDonald's, you order your hamburger, you order your Big Mac meal. Like you order and then you just wait until it comes. And you're not questioning that it's yours or not because you know it's yours because you paid for it. And I think with manifestation, when you ordered it and you paid with your belief system, you paid with your faith, basically. It should have been yours. And I know, like in the analogy of the McDonald's that I told you about, like it's weird if we keep asking, like, oh, is it going to come to me or not? Is it mine, really? Like, oh, is it mine? Is it gonna come back as a hamburger meal? Is it gonna be a quarter pounder meal when you ordered like a Big Mac, for example? um it feels weird, like questioning that, because once you ordered, you just wait. And I feel like manifestation is a bit like that too. The problem is, of course, we don't particularly know how it's going to come to us some of the time. And I think that's the difficult part. And of course, like I know it's probably like talking human to human and not from like a person who is a master and a absolute expert on this field. Human to human, I can acknowledge like the insecurity of, well, yeah, but it's not really works like that, is it? Like there are a lot of things that we have asked out of the universe that never comes around. And I think it's for good measure. It's like I think I've told this example so many times. There is this apartment building is just in Central Park in Sydney, Australia, and it is just across the street from a UTS tower, which is like a university in Sydney tower, just across the street from there near Broadway. And well, in the past, I used to be so infatuated with this building, and because it is being marketed as very environmentally advanced because it has all the plants attached to the buildings because it wants to be a living forest, and it has like gadgets such as solar flares on the top of of the taller building, of the taller tower, because it's like two towers. And the solar flare panels basically move according to the sun, so that all the plants on the tower that is attached to the buildings will get some sun so it can do its photosynthesis and stuff. And I used to be so infatuated with this building, and I kept imagining it. I want to manifest living there. But now, only a few years later, it has so many problems from the plants. It's have a lot of structural issues, moisture issues, water damage issues. That is basically causing it. If it's accurate, like almost 40% vacancy rate in those two towers. So it's a disaster basically. So have it been manifested, would that actually benefited me? Probably not. Probably would cost me more money than I would actually spend. I guess I'm just saying that, just because we want something doesn't mean it's good for us. And I think there is that need for detachment, isn't it? Like manifestation, I think it's associated with desperate energy, this energy that you feel like you don't have something, therefore you want this to happen. So that gap between where you are and where you want to be is so huge sometimes that it becomes very violent at times, and we call that manifesting. And I think we kind of need to, I guess, step back a little bit and reflect. But regardless, the point is still, if something that you want for a long time is gonna be yours, the feeling is going to be that detachment feeling, calmness feeling, knowing feeling, ease feelings, and also the feeling like, if I get it, sure, that'll be great. But there is that sense of peace and being contented with it. It's as if that, of course, is going to happen. Like, there is no doubt in your mind, and it just will happen. Like, why wouldn't it happen? I think having a lot of, I think the best thing to do is to list all the things that you used to want, and all the things that from that list that actually came about and like actually became reality. And then you also write a list next to these two columns of what did I feel when, those two happened, and how do I feel about it now on the fourth column, for example. I think assessing it that way is a lot more practical, because after a while you probably will see a pattern of, yeah, at the first, when I first wanted it, it's really exciting, and then I got it. Maybe well, some you get excited, some you go over the moon, some you're like, oh great, non-significant. And then down the line you actually feel like, oh, you don't feel as much gratitude anymore of getting it. And then you might have experience like the negative aspect of owning it, and after you going through all that list, right, and all through going through all the feelings after you have had it, I feel like you are not going to be as desperate as you would be wanting something, because you know from your evidence in front of you by writing this down that there will be a negative of owning it as well. And when you want something so desperately, all you see is the positive, but you don't see the negative. But if you write it down like that, like with the four columns, you also know, like, oh yeah, there's always gonna be a negative. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I will see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me today. My name is Valerie, and I'm a solo creator, solopreneur, digital creator here in Australia. If you want to check out my links, it's in the description box below. I will see you later. Bye, everyone.